welcome Maria Popova and Janna Levin.
My name's Maria Popova, and I'm a reader, and I write about what I read on a website called Brain Pickings.
I feel like I should introduce you.
Yeah, let's introduce each other. This is Janna Levin. She's a cosmologist and novelist and a brilliant thinker and a brilliant writer, and she's also director of sciences at Pioneer Works in Brooklyn. And Janna and I met through her book, her most recent book. I've been a fan of her writing for a while.
So I have to say first that this is one of the most fascinating and beautifully written books that I've ever read, and I don't say this lightly.
I didn't even have to pay her to say that.
I mean, what I love about her work is that it embodies this whole notion of connecting different aspects of life under this larger question of the human experience and using science as the lens, but telling a larger story.
The title Black Hole Blues was in part because at the time that I was writing this book about this ambitious experiment, I wasn't sure it was going to succeed. And one of the architects said something to me like, if this doesn't detect black holes, this thing is a failure. And so I just thought, oh, it's the Black Hole Blues. And amazingly, the detection was made of black holes. The black holes collide in complete darkness. None of the energy exploding from the collision comes out as light. No telescope will ever see the event.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the book really benefits from the fact that Janna's a novelist in addition to a working scientist. So every chapter is structured as a kind of profile of the major people involved in this struggle and what they went through from childhood to their time as a lead scientist. And you get a sense of, I mean, again, science is kind of the vehicle for that, but it's really about the psychology and the tenacity of a human mind and an ecosystem of human minds who transcend interpersonal dynamics for this larger quest of the transcendence of understanding.
Yeah, I love hearing Maria speak about it because I set out to write a very different book that was a much more straightforward science book, and I got so consumed with their personal narrative and exactly with not knowing if they were going to succeed, and the idea of climbing the mountain and really not knowing if you're going to survive all the way to the summit, but the compulsion to keep going is overwhelming and they can't stop. And I had to abandon my entire original plan and shift to writing something in a novelistic tone. And the reason why I believed I could do it was because I started to hear, the cadence of their voices, and they were giving me dialogue.
I wonder if they pre-printed New York Times bestseller and just waited till it was actually true.
Just put it out first.
This book, it's a good bet.
I wonder if you benefit from being a scientist because in order to do science, you have to be able to abandon the hypothesis when the evidence comes in for something else.
Yeah, that's what I had to sort of go through that process of saying, I've been here before where I've had a scientific idea that I really wanted to be right and it wasn't right, and you're banging your head against it and you see out of the corner of your eye there's a better idea and you know it, but you go through a period of not wanting to let go, right? And I went through a period of not wanting to let go of the original, but once you do it, it's just, it's so, you know you're on the right path.
I want to close with this beautiful line that you have. The Golden Age of Relativity encouraged a daydream of a cosmos plentiful and unforeseen. Maybe the sonic universe would be as bountiful as the viewable universe.
Let's hope.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.